A cold autumn evening at Raploch Community Centre in Stirling. There's a big turnout for the Rascals After School Club. Awarding prizes for the mask competition is the head teacher of Raploch Primary School, Anne Stewart.
Second prize goes to James Stewart, Bob the Builder. Third equal goes to Shelby McGregor and the wonderful gold face of Hayley McKinley.
Downstairs in the sports hall, it's football as usual. One of these teenagers has the chance to make it as a professional player.
Now at Chelsea, hopefully make it at Chelsea. I've moved to a better club.
Chelsea Football Club has offered 15-year-old Kevin a place in their youth squad.
Challenges are like keep yourself fit every day, go to training, make sure you don't get any injuries, just stick at the game.
I'm hoping he becomes a millionaire. That's my thing, the first millionaire out of this environment out the Raploch. I'm really hoping for that.
I don't really bother much money, mate, as long as he's happy. That's the main thing, as long as he's happy.
Kevin has already been to visit Chelsea several times, but moving down to London will be a big change for him and for the family.
So he'll be away for about 10 months out of the year, for 4 years.
It's hard.
So it's, oh well.
It's only a young boy. It's hard to leave your mum and your dad and your family and things like that, and all his friends. Down there, it's a big bad world down there. I just doesn't realise it.
That doesn't go there.
You can say to yourself you don't want him to go, but you can't miss this opportunity. It's a chance to a lifetime. But you're frightened to say to him, "Oh, don't go, because we'll miss you," and then you're trying to push him. It's funny. It's hard. He's learning, I'm learning. He'll do it doing it himself, so same with his cooking. I think it's going to be a difference when he goes down for good. A big difference for him because he does nothing for himself. Nothing. He went away the first time, I cried for 2 days solid.
Stop acting like that.
They can't cook and they can't iron, so you'll need to learn quick.
Simple things like that you worry about. Who's going to do his cooking, his cleaning and his ironing and his washing, because he's off a pernicket about things like that. So who's going to do things like that for him?
After finishing Kevin's ironing and getting his brother and 2 sisters ready for school, it's time for Margaret to go to work.
There's a difference, I'm only going down the stair.
Raploch is a community with a tough reputation.
I'm glad he's going down.
You know, do you?
Yes, I am. I'm glad he's going down because of this environment. I want him out of the Raploch. He says he's not going to drink, so he kens himself, because if he starts drinking and smoking and that, he'll, in my opinion, he'll just ruin his own career.
At Holy Trinity Primary School, it's time for football training. Coaching the children is volunteer helper Steven McGowan.
Use the full hold. Use the full hold.
Steven is a single dad and a recovering heroin addict.
Right foot forward. Hold it.
The kids are all asking why there's not a male present in the school. It's all teachers and they're all ladies. So Miss Atkinson says that the kids are actually prefer when there's a male about the school, because I don't know why, but I think it's maybe just it's a bigger bit of authority.
Hold it. And relax.
I'll get my enjoyment out of helping the kids now, instead of getting enjoyment out of running about, chasing my next £10, wondering where I'm going to get it for, spending the family allowance, spending the Monday boot. If I'm up here and I'm kicking a ball about the kids, I'm not out in the streets robbing old people, or I'm not out shoplifting or what have you, whatever they do to get their money.
Hand up. Change. Change.
Before I started the football, I relapsed with drugs. And I actually abandoned the kids. I abandoned them. I left them in the school. And I went to the social work department and I says, I can't cope. I just couldn't cope. I'd relapsed. I'd went back on drugs. I was in a terrible state and I was down to like 6.5 stone. All my family were just saying, Stephen, you look terrible and you have to pull yourself together. Look at the 2 kids, they're scared, and they were scared. They were actually frightened. Sometimes they were frightened of me. I've been to hell and back, basically. So if I can do that and come back for that, I can pick myself up with this.
The star footballer in the class is Dylan, Stephen's 10-year-old son.
Dylan had a behaviour problem. Most of all, he was retaliating to being called vermin.
Head teacher Patricia Atkinson sits in on the football training.
Miss Atkinson was saying maybe every time you fall back, the drugs, Dylan's falling back as well because he can see it, that yeah, there is something eating away at you and you'll not express it to the kids, but they know, they can feel it, they know there's tension in the house. What they were saying to me was true, but I just didn't want to listen to it. But when we really got down to talking about it, it was the drug problem that was Dylan's problem. And he sits and says sometimes, Dad, how come you've not got a car? And how come you've not got this? And how come we're not staying in a different... And I say, well, Dylan, it's because of the kind of life I led.
He's lifting the World Cup.
Hi, sir.
No, he's going to laugh, did he?
3 years ago, Dylan was asked a question by the teacher, what do you want to do when you're older? And he says, oh, I just want to get a gyro. That's what I would have said. If I was in his situation, that's what I would have said, because I didn't know any different. Then Miss Atkinson asked him what he wanted to be when he was older and what he wanted to do, and his answer 3 years later was, oh, I'm going to university. So basically what I want is a fresh start for the kids. There's plenty of love there.
Over at Raploch Primary School, head teacher Anne Stewart keeps a watchful eye on rehearsals. There are only a few days to go before it's performance day for the Primary 7 production of Jack and the Beanstalk.
Try again.
But your mother hasn't got a cover.
We've been doing a pantomime now for something like 6 or 7 years, I think. The primary 1s and 2s who come in and watch it at this stage, they know that come primary 7, they'll be in a pantomime. And for the primary 7s that are taking part, this is a huge boost for their self-esteem and self-confidence.
I can't see her enough from here.
This is a time when you get into December, you suddenly think, you know, it doesn't seem like a lot of time.
Boys back. Ashley's got a very loud voice. And I know Ashley. Yes, I know Ashley can sing that much like Can,
Well, we're mainly in the rehearsal stage, and we're not onto the rehearsal for the Beanstalk yet, but we're building up to it just now.
Food, glorious food, hot sausage and mustard. While we're in the mood, peas, pudding and custard, sweet jelly and ice cream. Now we're in the mood for food, glorious food, marvelous food, wonderful food.
The last week of term means it's Christmas lunch for the children of Raploch. Down the Drip Road at the Salvation Army, there's a free meal every day of the year for those in need.
People that can't get a meal because maybe they're in a flat or a bed and breakfast and haven't any cooking facilities. People that's homeless. People that stay in the area that are just sort of deprived.
With rice, please. Rice. And can I have a coffee?
They come here and they get a meal. It's free of charge because everybody needs a good meal once a day anyway, don't they?
If the kids aren't here, I usually pop in with my pals and have some. But the day I just came aboard cooking, so I come up here. Because of that, they're brilliant in here, like the kids and that. They're really good with the kids.
We thank them all. Every night I thank them, and I mean, I'm not religious or whatever, you know what I mean?
I mean, I've got a daughter, obviously I've got a meal in for her every day of the week, but half the time I have it for myself. Well, nearly all the time I have it for myself. It is a godsend, definitely is a godsend. I mean, I didn't care my day without it.
I've got a drug problem, right, which is, there's a majority that's got a drug problem down here. I get paid weekly, and my money is gone the day that I get it, and then you've got to try and survive the rest of the 6 days of the week. So this wasn't a year, like, I don't know what we can't half the time, you know what I mean?
Raploch is due to see many changes over the next few years. The council are even considering changing the name of the area to Castle View.
It doesn't matter what they call the Raploch. Call it Castle View if they like. They won't lose that identity because the identity is in them.
Yes, Raploch always has had a tough reputation, but I find it difficult to think of it as an area like that because I see all the good things that happen here.
It actually does make me very angry to hear that. You know, when people say to me, oh, you teach in the Raploch? I say, yes. And?
Many families have had to move away as the old houses are demolished. Stirling Council have detailed regeneration plans, but they don't have all the money yet. And the date to start building the new school and community centre and all the new houses is still not set. But meantime, local kids can turn the acres of dirt into a building site in minutes.
Well, getting all the big bricks in there, we're making a dam. There and making a gang. And a dam. Stuart, can I get that spade now?
I've been an ice cream van off and on for years and years, and I've served ice cream to the great-grandmothers. And you want that, and that. When I was a boy, everybody had nothing. So everybody had nothing, they shared everything with each other. And now I help them to give them pennies and tuppence back to the children when they haven't got any money. So then you don't worry about the handful of bad people, because the good people look after you.
Tonight is a big occasion for Kendall McGuigan. She has been asked to sing at the switch-on of Stirling's Christmas lights.
Well, I've only got an hour and a half to go. I've got the cold. I didn't want to take it, but I didn't want to let anybody down it. So I've got to try my best to please the family.
I think she's got a good voice. I'd like to see her doing something with it, than wasting.
I don't think I'll be nervous, but the only thing I feel that I'll be nervous about is maybe forgetting the words, because I'm not confident yet with the words.
As Kendall waits for her call, she's still trying to learn the words to the Dolly Parton song. There's a big crowd gathered in the centre of the town. Next on are Kendall together with guitarist Taj Viskovsky. But with the song lyrics in her hands, Kendall isn't fazed at all in front of her biggest audience so far.
She really is a star, and well done. 2 tries for spotting her.
See, when I went up the stage, I wasn't nervous or none. I seen people who I knew, and then I just had confidence. I thought it was a Christmassy song, but then I found out it wasn't a coat of many colours. I didn't even know it that well. I was reading the words off the paper.
But with her second song, Kendall has no problems with the words.
There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me wherever I fall.
Thank you very much. See you again.
Following the big stage success at the Christmas Lights Switch-On, Kendall is given another opportunity to perform.
Dave McDonald, he sent me a letter. Dear Kendall, I just wanted to thank you for your fantastic performance last night, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did. Well done. As a token of our appreciation, I would like to invite you to record a song or two in the toll booth. Hiya, it's alright. That's what I'm phoning for, just to thank you for your letter and just to tell you that I'm interested.
Well, the toll booth's going through like a £6 million refurbishment, and we're going to invite some people like yourselves into the recording studio.
Oh, that'd be good.
Well done, you was fantastic.
Hey, thanks very much.
Stirling Castle has towered over the Raploch for hundreds of years.
We do a large window cleaning contract up at Stirling Castle, where we've got 3 people up there, you know, working constantly to keep the windows nice and clean. How are you getting on then? I started cleaning windows in Stirling over at the hospital, and I actually started when I was still at school, you know. I used to clean windows at the weekend and stuff, and I learned the ins and outs, and then got a van and just built from there.
Many of the cleaners live in the Raploch. The coordinator is Margaret Stewart.
We've got a good team, they're good workers, and it's got to be spot on.
Early every morning, a minibus sets off on another cleaning contract. By 8 o'clock, the team are on their way to Ty Moor, luxury holiday apartments in the heart of the Trossachs by the shores of Loch Achray. The team has a busy morning, supervised by Margaret and her daughter Michelle.
My mum goes from job to job really, so but there's a lot of us that are cousins.
It's a good wee job. Nobody bothers you, and everybody gets on with everybody else, you know what I mean? So it's a nice wee job.
We all get on really well with each other. If we've got anything to say to each other, we'll say it. We didn't hide her because there's no point. We're not wanting any bitchiness or that, so we'll just all tell each other what we think. Maybe offends people sometimes, but you get all right, eh?
It's a time on babes, look! Oh, we've got coffee, 2 cars. Oh, I'll just go with that now. This way, this way.
It's a cold winter's morning. At Raploch Primary School, as the children arrive, Anne Stewart is getting ready for an important meeting.
Having a pupil council meeting this morning. They tend to come along with 101 complaints that they want me to sort instantly. I want them to get round to the idea of what can they do as pupils in the school to solve the problems without expecting a magic fix from me. And we're going to pick out the ones that are the most important to you.
Fix doors, stop vandalism by putting gates, wheelie blocks and lines and sheds redone. See the people who make spells and that?
Who make?
Spells and that.
Spells, magic spells, yes?
Can you make them come?
Can I make magic spells come true? Well, it just depends where the moon is in the sky, whether my spells work or not.
Because people keep on... Last year there was about 3 boys up in the roof, and then they came down and started trying to smash all the windows.
Well, we've got a very good community policeman now, haven't we? What's his name? Jerry?
Jerry Springer.
No, no. As well as writing that thing down, I want you to try and think of how that can be solved, what the solution would be. Yes, I think it went quite well. I wasn't quite sure how they would respond to it, but I was quite pleased because most of the children contributed. You would notice that, you know, there are 1 or 2 that tend to speak more than others. Brian here, he's grandfather grey hips, if ever there was one, you know. Well old before his time.
There was a vandalism. Somebody had used white spray paint and it said a bad word.
Oh, really?
Swear word.
Unfortunately, some of their ideas are a bit unrealistic, like, you know, the electrifying of the front fence to keep the vandals out.
It's open night for parents and friends of the Raploch Rascals.
And I thoroughly enjoy it. Bring back loads of different presents for me. And it gives me 2 extra hours peace and quiet.
Rascals is about making stuff, having projects and reading books and having good fun after school, so you can sit in your house and playing games, and you can have lots of fun here and stuff.
For Anne Stewart and other teachers, it's a chance to meet up informally with parents. Anne tells her colleague about one possible new parent who decided that Raploch Primary School wasn't right for her child.
She learns in a very visual way, and I've heard such good things about Bridge of Allen Primary that I would like her to go there. I thought, did she come to Raploch Primary and see what we're doing in our infant department? No. So do you know what I did? I sent her a letter. And saying how disappointed I was that she hadn't even come along. You know, they'll not get better infant department in any school than Leslie and Jan and Anna. No way. I mean, we know what a good school ours is. But other people don't necessarily, but unless they give you the chance. People have this idea that all the kids are really rough and, you know, nasty and foul-mouthed and thieves and junkies and all the rest of it. It's just not true. It's just not true. They're brilliant, our kids. It's just the name. That's all it is. Just the name for college.
Tommy's in. Boobs out. Come on.
It's Girls' Night at the Youth Initiative at Raploch Community Centre. At this club, they're rehearsing their catwalk poses for a fashion show.
Head up. Tommy in. Boobs out. The boys love football. They dominate the Raploch Centre because of the hall, and so they've got football, they've got sports. The girls are actually quite intimidated by that. So the result was the girls just weren't coming.
How's that?
That's perfect. We've had girls come in who've been like enemies, and we've sat them down because they've been fighting at school, and they've talked and they've discussed things, and they've been great friends. Right, everybody put your hands on now. I want everybody's hands.
But even with activities buzzing, there's a cloud hanging over the Youth Initiative. Funding is only guaranteed until next March, and Savine will have to start looking for another job if they don't get some good news soon from project leader Gordon Griffiths.
I would hate to lose you,
right?
But you've got to look after yourself because you can't pay your bills on a promise.
So you don't feel quite annoyed
I
with
don't
us
think
if we
you're
do
being
start looking for
disloyal.
jobs?
I think your first loyalty is to yourself. We're just right, and we've put all the time and effort in for a year. We're just at a right stage to go to another level with youth work. If it doesn't come off, it'll be just so much of a waste.
It's taken a year for the project to get where it is. It's thriving, and I feel huge loyalties towards some of these kids.
To the audience.
I mean, I was working with the girls last night and felt quite flat inside because they were talking about long-term things for the summer and what they could do. And I was like, well, am I going to be here?
Are Mary and Maddie ready? I'm ready. So anybody who gets a wee bit upset and doesn't want to walk has to put a big smile on their face.
Savine isn't the only one concerned about job security.
My wedding's actually planned for the 29th of June, but unfortunately the funding's due to run out about 2 months before that. Hopefully it will come together and we will get more funding and I'll not need to worry about 2 months' lack of wages for my wedding.
It's dress rehearsal for the pantomime. Jeanette Brymer has everything under control.
Right, will you just bear with me, right, please? He's actually a man, not a lady, so he needs a set of leggings as opposed to a skirt.
Where's your trousers that you had on? Are the black ones? Are the black ones? Just go and sit quiet. Everything will be all right.
That's it. Good. Jack is actually a woman. Well, a girl.
A lassie.
Aye.
And then she's getting transferred to a man for the pantomime. Because she wanted to party Jack, so she got to party Jack. My name is Jack. I'm the leading role of the pantomime, and I hope it's going to go all right. Hello, I'm an elf, and I'm in Jack and the Beanstalk with Donna. I like this suit because it's suit it. Guess what? We've got a costume fitted together. I know. And look at David, he's got the super leggings on.
Oh, the excitement. The excitement.
I'm the Beanstalk Fairy, and I've got 2 elves, and I sit at the boat with the Beanstalk. I feel afraid, I hold my head erect, and whistle a happy tune.
I think we're well on schedule.
I'm the Fairy of the Beanstalk. You are in great danger if the giant sees you. But do not worry, I will take care of you with the little help of my 2 elves. All right on the night.
Well done, everyone. That was splendid. Sit down for a minute. First of all, I don't want to see anybody keeking out the curtain at the audience. right? That is very unprofessional. So no keeking through the curtains, either through the middle or from the side.
Careers advisor Joe Noblet is making a home visit with would-be singer Kendall. It's time to think about life after school, but is a career in showbiz a serious possibility?
How did you enjoy school? Was it good?
When I look back, I wish I was still there. I didn't like it at the time. I think I've grown up a wee bit more since I've left the school. But I hope I have.
Did you want to work experience at all through school?
I worked in Nationwide Building Society, but I only went there for 2 days. And I didn't go back one lunchtime because I didn't like it.
Why didn't you like it?
Because I don't like being stuck in one place all the time.
But you sort of said you want to be a social worker, and I have to say a social worker's job includes a lot of paperwork. But why social work? What do you know about it?
No.
You didn't know about the paperwork side, but...
No, but I just know that they're not stuck in one place all the time. They're going about associating with others.
Somebody told me that you're a singer. Is that something you'd like to pursue as a career?
I'd love to pursue that.
What's holding you back? Whether it's the jobs that are available, whether it's something in yourself.
There's a competition in Motherwell, and it's like singing to a live band. And it's £4,000 to the winner, and I don't want to do nothing else.
There's another programme. It's called Compass for Life, and this is run by Stirling Council. The programme is to help you develop skills to find employment and training, okay? Do you know anything about Compass at all?
You get a chance to develop your skills, build your confidence.
Christmas time is here, all over the Raploch. The P7 players prepare for the opening of Jack and the Beanstalk. It's a full house for the premiere.
Ho there, fair mortals sitting in this hall. Welcome to our pantomime. Greetings to one and all. And with my magic wand, I'll see that everything comes right. There's fell in our foot as well, so Jack, you must take care. Never heed in time of need. Call and I'll be there. What am I going to do? I love Rowena, but not nearly as much as you. I can't stand the sound of laughter. Make them miserable ever after.
I had a girlfriend once, but she was so fat. I knew her for 5 years, and even then, I never met all of her. To join in the pantomime song. You know, it's that exciting. It's not just us that are excited, they're excited to be getting to watch it.
I feel like I want to do it over and over again though. Just want to do it forever.
Next week on Raploch Stories. At the community centre, the girls strut their stuff in the fashion show. The Tuesday Club tackles the really big issue.
Can school be fun?
Kevin pulls on a Scotland jersey. And Kendall hits the high notes at the Fir Park Social Club talent show.